What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist here with Sweater Vest Boy.
Yeah, Gershwin with the Sweater Vest again, starting the new year fresh. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, simply comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And this is for the greater...
Did we not do that before?
I don't think we did.
Oh, okay.
And if so, then I just have to edit it twice. Damn. All right, this question comes from Escaflons. He asks, going off taking over Star Wars, which we talked about 2 weeks ago, how would the cloning tech be adapted? So you're saying, how would the technology to clone the troops be adapted to the Imperium, and also how well would the clone troops...
Clone troopers.
Yeah, clone troopers, so the army... What is it called? The Imperial Army? No, what's it called? The Clone Army?
Yeah, Clone Army.
How well would the Clone Army do in against like the Imperial Guard? So first off, the cloning thing would have to be adapted in a way where the tech priests kill the... It's not the Mandalorian, because the Mandalorian was the guy. What are those long-necked aliens?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The ones that live in that like water world. Obi-Wan went to go visit.
Yeah. Well, they would be killed, and mysteriously they would say, or the Imperium would say, that their technology was actually stolen from a pre-Age of Strife, or pre-Age of Strife STC or something. Yeah. And then they would adopt that technology, but they would definitely kill those aliens because xenophobia and shit. And that's how they would adapt it. And then, how well would the clone troops do? What do you think?
Well, based on the movies, I don't think they do good. Because, like, every time you see a clone, they're always dropping the ball. They always miss. They never really get the job done.
That's true. But during Clone Wars, they were menaces. Like... They killed... Well, no, even in the movies, all the clone troops killed all them Jedis.
Well, that's because they got ambushed. I mean, if you got like an army of clones behind you and they all start shooting at you, lightsabers can only deflect so much.
But I think the Imperium would do really, really well with clone troopers, because clone troopers are easy to produce. They're standard, so they can be like pushed onto anything. There's no need of like... oh, these guys have this religion, these guys have this other religion, like the Imperial Guard.
Right.
And regiments could be tied a lot easier because it's basically just cookie-cutter soldiers.
That's true.
Whereas with the Imperium, you don't have cookie-cutter soldiers. Even though the Cadian Guard is the most popular one, you have the Vostrans, you just have like huge amounts of like regiments that are being tied to the Imperium.
Right.
And I think the whole process of cloning would be really good for the Ecclesiarchy and the Adeptus Administratum.
It's like if you need an army, just pay these guys, some money and you got yourself some cookie cutter soldiers. Yeah,
and I don't think that they would do as bad as the Imperial Guard. Because like even the Imperial Guard in the lore are like, you shoot them, they die. Because they're human.
Right.
Shooting wise too. They're not the best shots. So I think they would translate pretty well. And I think out of the Imperial Guard versus the Stormtroopers, I think the Stormtroopers would take it. Stormtroopers are much more organized. Even if you bust out the Death Corps of Krieg, which fight in attrition, I think the Stormtroopers could defeat that because they're clones. They can fight wars of attrition as well, but just a little bit more.
So you're saying just pitting army against army, like not counting like if they have like ATs. Or like,
Oh no, that too. Because like you could throw in the Manticore, you could throw in the Basilics, all that kind of stuff. But all that weaponry the clone troopers have, because they have the
right. They've got all this. Like they got equivalents. Too.
Yeah. So yeah, I would still say that the clone troopers win over the Imperial Guard. The only thing that the Imperial Guard have over the other ones is probably numbers.
But then if you could clone them, essentially you gotta...
Yeah.
As long as you have the cloning vats secure, you can just make an infinite amount of troops.
Yep. So I give it to the clone troopers.
I gotta give it to the Imperial Guard. Because, I mean, clone troopers, they only fought against AI robots,
I'd say Roger.
Yeah. And they got the little spinny ones, too.
Those were cool.
Yeah.
But they were also menacing. I mean...
Yeah. There's nothing scarier than a robot spinning towards you.
in a ball.
I mean, look at all the damage BB-8 did in The Last Jedi.
Spoiler alert, he dies.
They all die.
Yeah, I guess. Comment down below, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Clone Troopers or Imperial Guard? Next question.
This one is by Terminario? Something like that. Can a Chaos Force actually fight for humanity? I don't mean for the Imperium, but just for the human race alone. I'm thinking of making a Space Marine chapter branch who got into Chaos to help the Loyalist branch by restoring knowledge of the Dark Age of technology.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you could say like, oh, they're protecting humanity because the praise that humanity gives to like a certain chaos god is strengthening them, something like that.
Yeah, or you don't even have to take them over to Chaos. What you could say is that they just separated from the Imperium because they know the history that the Emperor is not a god and he's just a really strong man, and that they see the just the horrible outcome of the Imperium, and the vision that the Emperor had is nothing compared to what is actually happening now. So you don't have to ally them to Chaos, you just have to ally them to their own chapter's history.
Essentially making them renegades.
Yeah. And again, the Mantis Warriors, the Astro Claws, the Lamenters, they all went renegade at one point. So
right.
It happens. It has happened.
You go renegade, and then if you go full renegade, that's when you go to Chaos.
Yes.
Never go full renegade.
Never go full renegade. Next question.
DOW234. Could the Primaris Space Marines actually come from Corvus Corax's gene seed?
Why?
I think in 30K was it that Corvus Corax was like messing with the gene seed, and he made like these super powerful warriors, but they got like mutations and they became all like mutated beasts. I don't think so.
No, because I thought Belisarius Call used the gene seed of every single Primarch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are gene seeds of Corvus Corax, but not just specifically his, or the experiments that he did back in 30K.
Yeah. Good question though, and good job on remembering that. Next question comes from Ashton M. Did Lorgar and the Word Bearers begin spreading the Lectitio Divinatis before or after their fall to Chaos? If after, why would the Ruinous Powers effectively give the Imperium of Man a weapon against them in the form of a zealot devotion to the Emperor? Side note, it was Erebus who led the Great Crusade into the conflict with the Interrex. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name. So it was before. They actually the Word Bearers got punished for spreading the Lectitio Divinatis, and their homeworld was destroyed
by the Ultramarines.
Yes, as a sign of like, or no, it wasn't their homeworld. I think it was just like a treasured planet or treasured city on their homeworld, maybe. But yeah.
This one is by 8AFM4. What would you rather have? A 40K movie directed by Christopher Nolan, a TV series written and directed by the guys who did Game of Thrones, or a Netflix series by the guys who did Daredevil? Hands down, Game of Thrones.
You would like a TV series?
Yeah. Because, I mean, if they do something like Game of Thrones, it could, like, the production value is crazy. They could just do so much with it. When if you're doing a movie, especially one directed by Christopher Nolan, it's just going to be explosions, and Pepsi's going to be sponsoring it.
Christopher Nolan is not a good director.
No, like he did Transformers, and the fight scenes, you can't really tell what's going on. At least in my opinion. If you want to see a bunch of like explosions and like hot girls bending over cars.
Wait, is that Christopher Nolan?
I think so. No, that's Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Forget everything I said. Christopher Nolan is the guy who did the Dark Knight series.
Because I've seen everything that Christopher Nolan has put out, and
everything.
Yeah, even back to Memento.
Ooh.
Which actually isn't that far back, but like, I've seen those. He's really good at individuals, and I don't know, like, you're supposed to paint like a picture of a broader audience. So I think what's his name? The guy who did Episode 7.
Oh, of Star Wars?
Yeah. And did the Star Trek.
Rian?
Well, that guy. You guys know what I'm talking about. If he directed it, that would be better. Because they really do, or he does a really good job of just demonstrating that this is a fucking world, this is a universe, a galaxy, and that's what I think Warhammer 40K needs. Christopher Nolan would be really good at doing like an individual Netflix series.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Because then he can go in depth into the mind of an Inquisitor or something like that.
So you go with a Christopher Nolan movie.
Christopher Nolan TV show or Netflix show.
Okay.
Because the Netflix show is smaller, so you feel like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna get the grander picture of a movie. Because if you're pumping out money for a movie, you're pumping out millions of dollars. Whereas a Netflix special will probably be like $1 million or $2 million at most, maybe. I don't really know.
But yeah, so he's going with the
all of them, but changing everything that you said. What about you?
I'd still stick with the TV show made by the HBO guys, so Game of Thrones-esque.
Okay. Good answer.
Actually picking one of your options.
Next question. You got one?
Yeah. Inquisitor Vonus Cave. Who do you guys think was the strongest Primarch before the Horus Heresy? I'm not talking physical strength, but overall performance, and also in a 1-versus-1 situation. So for example, if all the Primarchs were to fight, I thought Magnus would win since his psychic power far exceeds his brothers. But what do you guys think? Keep up the great work. I love watching you guys.
Horus, which is why he became a War Master.
Yeah, Horus was a great tactician. He was really strong. He knew what he was doing and the consequences of what would happen because of his actions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, again, you said he became the War Master.
Yep. And he would fight psychic abilities because the Great Crusade was full of psychic empires that were destroyed by the Luna Wolves. Are they the Luna Wolves?
Yeah,
right?
Luna Wolves, yeah. I'd say Sanguinius.
Well, you just...
What? Just because he can fly and he can just like be up here.
Horus defeated Sanguinius, though.
That's because he was busy fighting for 3 days straight and breaking backs of like bloodthirstiers or thirsters, whatever they're called.
But if he was a better tactician, he wouldn't have had to exert that much force in order to kill himself.
He knew what he was getting himself into.
So then he's just a bad leader. He's just gonna kill himself.
No, he's like, I'm giving my life up for the greater good, for that chance that the Emperor can.
No, but I think it's your Tau mentality coming into the Imperial. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll agree on this one time.
We'll agree to disagree. You
But
say Sanguinius, I say Horus.
All right. But they were best bros though.
They were like fist bumping. We got a fist bump.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was more you fist bumping me.
Yeah, you kind of just stood there.
Mm-hmm.
See? Horus is a better tactician. Next question. Do you have one? Or is it going to be the last question?
Last question. Let's make this one a good one.
You want to give somebody some advice about Grey Knights?
Sure. Don't play them.
Well, Brother Argomadus says, I'm building a Grey Knights army, but I do want to pimp them with some units that are more about quality than quantity.
Well, Grey Knights overall are about quality.
Yeah. I'm thinking about a small army of battle servitors. Is that something that fits the lore? Do Grey Knights roll with servitors in battle?
I mean, they have servitors. They're not going to use them in battle.
That's going to be a really horrible army.
Yeah. It's like Grey Knights, you're probably going to be outnumbered. If you have servitors, you're going to be outgunned, outmatched.
And outnumbered.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say the best list you can run with Grey Knights right now would probably be spamming Dread Knights and just dropping in Terminator squads. But you got to make them shooty. So drop in Terminator squads, shoot up, and then charge in, and hopefully you don't get overwhelmed by whatever you're charging.
And that's still quality over quantity because it's like, what, 5 units?
Mm-hmm. You'll probably have like 20 models tops on the battlefield.
Yeah, and yeah. You're not going to do so good, though. But thanks for those questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we do this 3 times a week, 4 times a week, so keep asking those questions and we'll keep on answering them. As always, this is Sweater Vest Wearing
Gershwan.
and this is Sound Alchemist. Boo.
No, you're wearing a
Oh
sweater.
yeah, I forgot I'm wearing this.
What does it say? It says One Mind Syndicate.
Yeah.
Comment down below if you guys would like merch in the future.
Or if you just want Gersh's awesome sweater vest.
Well, this you can get at Macy's. Thanks for everything, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.